In 2017, Nintendo once again revolutionized the gaming world with the highly anticipated new Zelda title for their struggling console, the Wii U, Breath of the Wild. The game introduced an open world that demanded players' curiosity and creativity to pass through challenges and puzzles. Surprisingly, even to me, a fan of the franchise since the days of the Nintendo Entertainment System, Tears of the Kingdom manages to be even better and more inventive than any other game in the series. Zelda was never a franchise to have games with direct sequels, with various games taking place in the same universe, but Link was rarely the same as the previous title, except for exceptions like Majora's Mask. Differing from the others, Tears of the Kingdom continues the story of Breath of the Wild, bringing a new threat to Hyrule and demanding that Zelda and Link unite again for a free-fall dive into the history of the world around them. Tears of the Kingdom takes place a few years after Breath of the Wild. Zelda and Link are investigating the ruins of Hyrule Castle when they find a mysterious figure, which we know to be Ganondorf, buried beneath the rubble of an ancient civilization. Ganon returns with a form more similar to that of Ocarina of Time, bringing numerous new theories that further complicate the already confusing chronology of the games. But that's not a bad thing. Often these less explained stories bring more freedom for authors to work on them. And that's why the Zelda series is still so talked about and discussed. And, in a scene similar to those in the Metroid series, early on, the powerful protector of Hyrule has his powers removed. The scene where Link's strength is torn away, just like the Master Sword, is incredible and leaves everyone impressed with the dramatic charge. In other words, let's do it all over again, because once is never enough. The world. Hyrule has been revamped but is still the world seen in Breath of the Wild. The player will go through numerous known locations and will be able to visit and face new enemies while also exploring new areas. The sky of Hyrule has become a new area to be explored, and this is done in a very fluid and enjoyable way. We must also remember that the depths are another layer to be explored, totaling 3 areas: surface, depths, and sky. Each region presents its own biome, different enemies, and obstacles. New mechanics. And to make all this even better, Link's new mechanics come to make the game even more creative and dynamic. The Ultra Hand and Fuse abilities involve combining items, weapons, foods, and creating tools to overcome obstacles. Need to cross a river? Create a canoe. Need to cross a chasm? Create a bridge. Need to carry a Kuroko? Merge your backpack with a log and throw it. The possibilities are endless, and it's fun to be able to play and invent new ways to progress in the game. The game also has other abilities that are gained by defeating bosses. In this sense, the game is more similar to previous Zeldas than Breath of the Wild, since there are no divine beasts to be liberated here. Puzzles. The shrines are back, which is great. All of them have enjoyable challenge levels, without much difficulty, but requiring the player's creativity to overcome them, as in Breath of the Wild. The use and mix of the new mechanics are necessary for the player to reach the end of each of them. A game running well on a console is not a question that should normally be asked. However, with games increasingly coming with quality and performance modes, this is starting to become natural. And Tears of the Kingdom is running well on the Switch, but already shows that Nintendo has made a more ambitious game that pushes the console to its limits. The game does have some frame rate drops, but they are not significant enough to hinder the gameplay experience. Areas with a lot of information can cause these slight hiccups, but the game mostly runs at a stable 30 frames per second. The best game of all time of the last week. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is definitely one of the top contenders for the best recent games. With its attention to detail, inventiveness, and many new mechanics, it provides a rich and satisfying experience for fans of the franchise and newcomers alike. The game builds on the foundation of Breath of the Wild and takes it to new heights with its compelling story, well-designed puzzles, and open-world exploration. The addition of new mechanics, such as the Ultra Hand and Fuse abilities, adds even more depth to the gameplay and encourages players to experiment and think creatively. Overall, Tears of the Kingdom is a must-play for any fan of action-adventure games and especially for those who have been following the Zelda franchise for years. It is an impressive and memorable addition to an already iconic series, and it sets a high standard for future games to come.